This is the job for today. It's a throttle body for a V12 Jaguar, so obviously I've got to make 12 of them. The gentleman who made the pattern, who did a lovely job of it, has made a split pattern for me so that I don't need an odd side to set the work up. To be honest, I prefer work that isn't split and it has an odd side because for me it's easier to get the casting out of the sand. But anyway, we'll sort of see what happens. Now, always when you get a job for the first time that you've not done before, it's a bit of a mystery. You don't really know what's going to happen. You don't really know how to mould it. And one of the things with this job was that it has a fairly heavy flange at both ends. And where do I put a feeder? Do I need to put a feeder both ends? Can I get away with it at one end? And should I put it on this end, the bigger, higher flange? Or this end, where the actual body of the casting is a bit thicker than it is down this end? What I opted for is the one feeder down this end, and I cast 3 a couple of days ago, and thanks to the joys of video editing, you'll see that in this video. And the one feeder seems to work quite well. So we'll just sort of see what happens. I guess now it should work quite well now. Oh, one more. Oh, here we go. Box is a little tight. I might put a little bit of graphite on that pin. Okay. Now, to save my rather precious facing sand, I just shield the pattern off with these little bits of wood, so that the facing sand only goes on the bit that we really need to have looking good. Enough. Lots of nice sieved backup sand now. Yes, I might just a little bit more than that, I think. Okay. Come off that flange a bit, we'll be right. Got to be a little careful ramming it, don't hit that flange. It's quite high in the mould. It's just about there, so I need to be a little careful around there. I'll leave the central bit over the pattern unrammed at this stage because it's a little close. And if you ram too close to a pattern, you get all sorts of strange little defects in the surface of your mould. I think the sand sort of rams once and then shifts a bit, and you get this sort of double image. Baseboard. Just rub it around the part line to make certain it's down and matches the pattern properly. Other half of the pattern. Okay. See whether we've got this box to fit properly. It's actually a little sticky. Sometimes you get a bit of junk seem to build up in the pinholes. I don't quite know what it is or why, but it makes them sticky. A little bit of graphite. Hopefully it'll be better now. Ah, beautiful. One feeder, one sprue, and bits of wood again to save parting sand, facing sand rather. It's got it. Backup sand again, lots of backup sand. That's not too bad. Just pull that back and one. This feeder, you'll notice it curves out and around, over and above the flange. The area of sand that's in here can act as a bit of a steam trap and cause a few problems. So I'll just put a couple of little vents down, just push the wire down until it hits the flange. This is a very, very fine wire, probably only about 30 or 40 thou, I would think. Radius those, clean that one up a little bit. Now we come to getting the pattern out. With a split pattern, traditionally you just take the box off, flick it over, and then extract the pattern from both boxes. Now, one half at a time. Most people would probably do it that way, but I find that a bit awkward. I'm a bit more used to getting moulds apart and getting patterns out in this way. Now, also if I can find the right tool here, if I can find it. Ah yes, very clever. I can't. There it is. I will go down into the pattern itself via the riser here, via the feeder, and loosen it directly that way too. Now the pattern shouldn't come with this box. It should all stay down on the bottom box, I hope. And I seem to get a much better lift. I've got almost perfect edge retention there, just a smidgen on that corner, but other than that, that's very, very good. I'll be lucky to get the other half of the pattern out as well, as nicely as that. While I'm here, I'll cut the gate. Smooth it up, break all the sharp, nasty sharp edges. We don't want them breaking later when we pour the metal in. not too bad. Okay. Damaged it a little there, should be right. Now, this is the sort of lift that I don't like much. I have a bit of trouble doing it. First we'll wrap it a bit loose. I need also to cut the runner before I lift the pattern out. It's probably best to do it first. Now, I put these two bits of steel as a guide right down there so that the end of the pattern can rub on them as I lift it out and give me some sort of guidance. And I should, if I adhere to keeping them touching the bits of steel, keeping the pattern touching the steel, I should get a good lift. Not perfect, but not too bad. A little bit. I've got to put a core in this. Now this core is actually hollow. Normally that's a good thing, except in this case, if metal gets into that core, it could cause a problem. And in fact, when you see later in this video, I'm pouring 3 of these castings, which of course I did 2 days ago, and you can see it later thanks to the joys of video editing. You will see in, I think, the middle of the 3, a bubble appears up the feeder. I believe this is due to metal having run into the hollow core, and all of a sudden gases coming from the core had nowhere to go, so they sort of bubbled out the end and up the feeder there. And I've been lucky that it bubbled only through the feeder and not through the casting. If it had come through the casting would have been, I would have had to scrap it. It would have been a disaster. Okay, let's see if we can get a trial close here. Got that round the right way, yes. Okay. And that's not looking too good there. That looks like it's about to fall away there. That's a bit of a blow. Huh. Blow out any loose material remaining. Just check with the torch that I've actually got it out. Silly torch. Never wants to turn on properly. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. Now we have a bit of a problem here. Right. That's the sprue extension, okay. The feeder extension's could be a bit of a problem. I've got a bit of a hole there. We might just have to patch that. That'll be right. As long as metal doesn't come out, it will be laughing. Should be right. Okay, and that's another one. Righto. Up, 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 up. Thank you. It's still a little low, but don't move now. Ooh. Good God. You're still too low. Ooh. Oh, come on. That seemed to move around a bit.